Good morning. How's everybody doing? Hope you're all good. You might hear a bit of a disturbance around me at the moment. Just in the local village, just about a mile down the road, there's been a car accident apparently, and there's an air ambulance that's been coming over for the last half an hour. So if you hear any sort of like noise like that, it's the microphone picking them up because they've been over it a few times this morning. Should have listened to my gut yesterday, guys. Right? It was proved right. I lost another trade yesterday, and that just goes to show, doesn't it, that I think in this instance you've either got to completely listen to your gut whenever you feel like your gut might be right, or completely leave it alone. There's no in between for me. And yesterday I did have a feeling that it was probably the wrong trade. The date type just didn't look right for me at that point when I entered the trade. Something to think about going forward for me though. But same as say, like I never mess with it. I've never backtested to mess with my trade. And I messed with it not long ago and cost myself a right good amount of profit. So it was always bound to happen. That was whatever I would have done yesterday would have cost me money. So it was just one of them. This is it. But if I can go through this and get through this little period and just not mess with it, then I know at the end of the day, the next time I get the big day, I'll be back up again. So it is what it is, but it kind of sucks because I could see that sort of setting up, to be honest with you, what was going to happen. It just didn't look like it was going to be an up day yesterday. Now I am looking at this morning, and let me just get these pivots off. I am looking at this morning and thinking, if we can get a tight consolidation pullback into here, we're definitely, hopefully, going to make at least to try and have another leg out. Now, whether that leg will fail or will roll over, I don't know. But it looks like there could be a sort of leg out, consolidation, pullback, and then another leg up that's going to happen. Obvious targets are like swing highs only, like this one. I like this spike high here, really, to be honest with you. That I would be trying to run it for to take first scale. But let's just see what happens. Let's just see how it sets up. But I look at this now as just being like one leg. And if we can get the pullback, hopefully we'll get along on board and see what happens. If not, though, it could just roll over and come straight back into balance. There's nothing here for me at the moment, though. Do need a slightly bigger pullback still. Let's just have a look, see what's setting up, and then we'll jump in the room. Had a few people message me over the last couple of days, though, saying that at the moment the market conditions are absolutely shocking. And for me, it has been like that, really. My live account is slightly up, slightly more, and it's not. It's in a healthier position because of obviously that ESMA ruling. I managed to take a bigger profit on that day when it cost me by not getting in the bigger position. So although I've taken a couple of losses since then, it's still roundabout all right. There's nothing to be too worried about, but it's just this challenge account. Obviously, it does suck because same as say, if it wasn't for that, I think I'd be at 3.3. I'd be at like 3.3. Yeah, I think I'd be at 3.350. It works out, which is all right still. I'm not too bothered about that. But Wash and White from 550 was the trade of the day. Here he is, Change. Yes, how you doing? Matty, how you doing? Nick Gordon's in long from the opening range from 434. Stop as the trailing EMA 10. Lovely, nice one. Let's just have a look at that. See, we'll drill down, see what Nick's looking at. He's looking at 434, right. So you were long at 434 then, Nick? You're on I think you said yesterday you use a 5-minute time frame, don't you? Right, yeah. So Nick smashed it here on that candle, that 5-min candle. That's a lovely looking trade, by the way, Nick. Really good. So basically, I think what's happened there is he's just seen that candle appear and he's hit it at 34, because that sort of ties in with what he's saying his entry was. Lovely. It's a good looking trade, that is, and you're trailing it with the 10 EMA, I think he says. Right, so what would you do with that though, Nick? If we close beneath it, the first close beneath it, are you just getting out of it? any sort of candle close through it, you get out at that point, yeah? Changes in long too, good stuff. You got in at 454. One thing that I do like though on the discretionary side is this here, this pullback. Now this pullback here is something that I see all the time. Again, when we take the top off the opening range, this point here, which is the opening range high, look at how we go through. First of all, we get a clean break, but then you get the pin, which would make people think that there was a trap happening there. But the pin itself never closes back inside the opening range. They're all just such small details and much like very small little nuances. But do you see how that there pins? But it doesn't automatically close straight back inside the opening range. Now I'm looking at that this morning thinking, right, okay, that potentially there, it doesn't look like a powerful sort of trap reversal. And then you get these two red candles with this one that closes back inside the opening range. Then straight away, 824, you get this push straight back out again. Now that to me, like, if this pin here had closed back inside, this leg up, then straight back inside on the next candle, then that to me would look more like a trap. But to me, this looks like it's pushed out. It's sort of like a weak push back in, and then straight away at this point here, we've closed back outside the opening range. Now it's a nice long ladders there. Like you could put your stop underneath that low, and then obviously you go in for the push out. Also, the context of the overall move is that if you go down to like the 5-minute time frame, that if you've not got on board here where Nick has, it does look very V, doesn't it? So you'd be expecting, you know, them. What I mean by it is you would be expecting the V to carry on the expansion, the drive of this leg to move through the top of this opening range. It wouldn't look like it was a type of day that you were going to get a trap into this high here, especially with like how the market was moving into the opening range high. Do you understand? So for me, this candle here, although it looked like a pin, it didn't really do the job of pushing the market back into its opening range. So I'd be looking at more like, right, we're going to get continuation more likely. So that's what I would be thinking there with that bit. And as soon as we close back outside the opening range, you can see obviously what happens after that point. So we rotate back in with a weak sort of trap to push people back inside, and straight away at 824, you just get pushed straight back out, and then that's it. Then basically we get the new leg out of the opening range. They're all little nuances that you can look at on a smaller time frame if it suits your personality and your trading style to do that. You can get dead tight risk on as well with stuff like that, but really tight. Like I'm sure that risk on that 1 minute candle there was like 10 pips, maybe even less. So something to look at, guys. But yeah, I would look at this as one leg here now, and obviously we are bullish until proven otherwise. Now I wouldn't want to be short here at all for this leg. I think we're way more than likely to sort of coil and go again. It's just about trying to see if we can get a point where we can get some long exposure on for me. But I still need a pullback. A slight pullback. Well, let's see. So yeah. Yeah, so you can see the flag forming, same as me then. Yeah. It's an interesting setup, isn't it, at the moment? Because same as say, the markets do look like they're ready to go, you know, like with the Dow hitting all-time highs yesterday again, they just look like they're coiling to me. Like the DAX again, it just looks like it's coiling on the bigger time frames to me. You know why it is? It's because this daily consolidation looks bearish as hell still. So unless they push it to new highs, they're going to have a problem here with the DAX if the DAX doesn't reach all-time highs very quickly. Because if the volatility dies off here, I think we're way more likely to roll over again. on the daily time frame, so you can understand why they're trying to race it to new highs, because obviously new highs, then the new leg up, you get a new leg into new highs, and it could potentially set up a new sort of trend again out of this area. But I would suggest that until that happens, for me, especially with the DAX not hitting all-time highs yesterday, with all the US markets, and especially the Dow, because it does act like the DAX does, in my opinion, I would suggest they need to rush this thing to new highs to reclaim, like a new bullish type trend, which could possibly get if we get out of if we break through this sort of all-time high here. But to me, it's still structure-wise, yes, we've had the stick save beneath here, but if you're looking at the overall structure, the overall picture on the daily time frame since this point, April, we haven't really gone anywhere, have we? Like, look, that's 16th of April, Friday, and we're trading basically the same level. But what you have to remember is, how much stimulus have we had since that point? How much money printing has happened since that point? How much of the ECB, smashed into the market? How many billions? Trillion? I mean, what are the figures that have got us this on the chart? So you have to take it all into account. And from a structural perspective, to me, the DAX, if they don't make all-time highs of it soon, I think there's way more chance it'll roll over. Way more chance. So yeah, you can see what's happening. But if you haven't gone anywhere since April, and you've done all of that, and it's got you this, would you be slightly worried if you're a central banker looking at it? Like, no wonder they're trying to push it up. Because, that's part of the mandate. I'm sure it is. It's what they want. Is they need to get these markets higher. Whether or not that's a good thing, I don't know. Who knows? That's not, I'm not qualified to say, but you can just see what's happening. Like, we are literally, that's the level that we traded on Friday the 16th of April, right there, with a horizontal line through it, and we're literally 5 ticks off it. So we haven't gone anywhere. We haven't moved anywhere. You can see it right there. We're still at the same level. Yes, we've had an attempt to go slightly higher, which has failed. These highs here got taken off and it's failed. But overall, structurally, I just don't think it looks that bullish. Yes, if we make new highs, and yes, obviously, you will be bullish at that point, because you could argue that you're going to get something like what the Dow did in 2015, 2016, where you just get this huge consolidation and then you go off the new highs, and you could argue that you could just, who knows where that new trend could take us then. You're in proper bull mode at that point in time. But to me, this doesn't look great still. It just doesn't. And I think that they're obviously in a rush to get it to new highs. If that makes sense to anybody. That's my overall sort of outlook on the market. And it might be like completely sort of retail to think like that, but you have to argue that this isn't a bullish consolidation, really, for me. It just looks like a massive distribution pattern more than anything. Right, so you're long the Dow since the 22nd of September, Nick, holding full size, haven't moved stops, currently up 1.1R. Wowzers. Was that like a swing position then? Right, so you're getting a short on, Kyle. 15.511 stops at 15.520, aiming for the low of this morning. Okay, dude, let's have a look. Fair play to you for calling it out. I like that. What's making you get short there, Kyle? I'm just wondering. Morning, Aaron. What's making you get short there? Just wondering, have you got like a fib level, or is there some type of sort of context that you put in onto that trade? Just wondering. Because for me, I'm just trying to learn what you're doing, basically. Because for me, I would only be in bull mode here. With the IB that's got taken out here. At this point, for me, I would only be in bull mode. So I'm just wondering what you're seeing. Daily pivot, I think he means, trend the market. Cash daily pivot. Is that correct, Nick? I think I saw my pivot line up about there as well this morning, so I'm sure he means that. How are you doing, Ultra FX? Trend the market's not on the screen today. What are you doing, Trend the Market? I'm interested. You having a day off or something? Or you got other jobs that you got to do? It does look like that flag's going to go, doesn't it? I still haven't got a trade on though, guys. Nothing for me yet. Daily pivot, yeah, cool. Oh, we're doing a Discord change. I don't know, change. I really don't know. I don't know what to do about that. It's one of them. I'm in between. I don't know what to do. We'll have to see about it, basically. I think with a Discord, I mean, I've never done anything like that before, but same as say, it would have to be free and would have to not be like shilly. Do you know what I mean? I just don't want it to come across like that, where people are like going on there to sort of shill their own stuff. Do you get what I'm saying? Now, it's tough to police that sort of thing, yes. And I don't want it to be shilly. I just want it to be everybody sort of trying to help each other, not help themselves. Do you understand what I mean by that? But I don't know how you police that type of thing. I just don't know. Morning, Phil. How you doing? Morning, Jack. Discords are better in the fact that we could all share charts. I agree they would be. Yeah, Josh, somebody did start one. I think that was Trader Z, I think. And I saw what he was doing, and I appreciate that. But same as say, I just think they can come across as a little bit shilly sometimes. You know, like some people start like trying to sort of, you know, like if you start a Discord off, for me, you can't have people putting trades out there sporadically with some without a stop, some when they're already in profit, some when, you know, they're not giving you all of the entry and exit parameters, they're hiding things. So I don't mind people hiding their lot sizes and stuff like that. That's cool, because obviously, you know, we all want to try and keep our account balances private if we can, because as we went through the other day, we don't want people knocking on your door and saying, you know, you're obviously doing well, give me some money, blah blah. That's not good. But I don't want it to be shilly. So how can I put it like this? Like somebody could come in, they could, you know, oh yeah, look what I'm doing. I'm long this, I'm short that, but they're not actually giving you any sort of any of the trade parameters, the stop. And I don't mean you've got to explain your strategy or what you get into the market, but just an entry, a stop, and an exit with every chart. And if that's not happening, then like maybe 2 or 3 strikes and you're out. Do you know what I mean? Because for me, it's about being open with everything. So if you have a losing trade, that's cool. That's fine. But I just don't want it to be like a way of people coming on there and like trying to shill people towards their stuff. Do you understand? I'd much prefer it to be an open and helpful Discord where people are genuinely trying to, you know, just be open with their trading results. So if you are doing well, people can see and say, Jesus Christ, this guy can trade. He's good. You know, like he's obviously, you can look back over the course of the Discords month, and his entries are tight. His risks right. You can see where he's wrong or right on every trade he does. He's not putting the trades out there where he's just into a profit and he's already moved his stop to break even. That type of thing. So if you're getting into a trade, you have to put it on the Discord with your entry and your entry and your stop on there. So I would do it, but same as say, that's the reason I don't want to do it, is because that's what's holding me back, is because I just want it to be open and I don't want it to come across as like I'm having to sort of And I'm sure you lot wouldn't be like that, but anybody can sort of enter a Discord, can't they? And I just don't want it to come across as like being a bit of a shill sort of session. But yeah, I'm interested in doing it, definitely. Right, so Justine from Let's Play Footsie says she finds Discord really noisy. Yeah, you leave your ego at the door. I mean, but that's the whole problem of trading, isn't it? Everybody's ego's huge, and like everybody wants to tell everybody that they're the best trader in the world and blah de blah and stuff like that. And I tweeted something out yesterday on YouTube that, from the look of it on Twitter, you'd expect that most Twitter traders should be on the Forbes rich list, because nobody's ever wrong. Nobody's ever wrong on Twitter. Everybody just wins every day, right? But what if that's the case? Why aren't they like billionaires? Because with the win rate that you'd think that people have got, like they'd be the richest person in the world very quickly. But I don't know how it could be. Like Justine says, it can be noisy. It can be noisy, and if that was affecting you, I don't think it would help you out. Like if you're one of these traders that needs that sort of quiet, that peace, that sort of, not people like sharing. If you're long gold and someone puts an idea up saying, "Well, I'm bearish gold," and that type of thing can affect you, because it can. And even profitable traders get affected by other people's opinions. That's a fact. It does happen, and sometimes the quietness, the peace of just not being in a Discord room and stuff like that, it is good for your trading. If your head's like that, like Justine says, that might not help her. So I would suggest that if that's the case, Discord probably isn't the right thing for you. But if it is okay for you, and if it is something that you would probably like to see and benefit from, because you might come in there and want to fade people like that. That's possible, isn't it? Like Tom said, he had a guy that just used to fade people. Like he'd probably fading me at the moment, right? So you might be doing the reverse of everybody in there, and that might be something that you might want to look at. But yeah, so if it is positive for your trading and you would like that, then maybe it would be something that we could look at. But if it isn't positive and you wouldn't fancy stuff like that, I would suggest not going anywhere near it, because it will definitely skew your sort of mentality and psychology with your own trading, and it can happen. That can. She makes a good point, Justin. Yeah, the noise is out there, guys. Right, I'm not gonna lie to you as well. This is the honest truth, and I aren't trying to use this as an excuse in any way for my trading results on this challenge account. Because as I've said, right, this challenge account would be higher if it wasn't for that stupid ESMA ruling on Thursday. I needed a 13 tick stop, and it cost me money because they wouldn't let me put the position size on that I needed to risk 60 quid, which is what I'd been risking the whole challenge account. And it would be up, so I'm not making excuses for that. But this what I'm doing is noisy, and it does affect my trading. Like there was a few days when I first started it off where I should have had winning days, and I didn't, because I didn't. Like you're live in front of other people. That there's noise. People are saying that they're this, they're short that, they're long this, and you're trying to do the opposite, and it does make you think. It is really tough. I thought that I was made of way sterner stuff than that, and I thought, do you know what? No, I'll be fine. It's not going to affect me in the slightest. It's just going to be completely the same as it normally would. I'm telling you now, it is not. Trading live and putting all of your entries and your stops on is different. It's just different. And like yesterday, right? I'm getting long the DAX. People on here are getting short the DAX at exactly the same time, and I still hit the trade, and I still thought that I was wrong on the trade, but I had to hit the trade, right? Because that's my strategy. But when people are getting short and you're getting long, and they're in your room, and you know that you're probably going to be right, it starts to affect. Like I felt like physically stressed a little bit yesterday, a bit flustered, a bit like not myself. I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna look like a right dickhead, to be honest with you. And then you start thinking like you're afraid of losing a little bit, and that starts to unravel you. You start to go down that path of being a little bit afraid. Just being completely honest with you. Yes, would I have liked that trade to have gone and made me money? and I would have come on here and thought, oh, you know what, I was right in front of everybody and other people were wrong, but it didn't happen like that. Then last night I'm thinking to myself, oh God, you know, these guys are getting long, I was getting short. I had a good inkling that I was probably wrong in that trade and I shouldn't have been in it, but my strategy told me that I needed to be in it. So slowly from that bias is starting to unravel in my head. Next time that happens, right, I'm getting long, these guys in the room are getting short, bloody hell, like, I might not hit my strategy. I might not hit that long because I'm getting, I might have been, like, them biases in my head might have been set up now to stop me from doing that. And I might listen to my gut next time. But do you know what? Next time might be the one where it runs to 6 or 7. Oh, and these are the types of things that unsettle you a little bit. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you're sort of not just competing with yourself. You're sort of openly competing with other people live who are doing the opposite to what you are, and you've lost money. Like, you're the one that's wrong. So it's like enforcing that thing that you're wrong and other people are right. Now, it's not going to affect me, and I will still hit my strategy at the right points again. But I'm just saying to you, like, these are the types of thoughts that go through your head. And it is tough. It is tough. It really is. Like, no wonder none of these gurus want to do it live. No wonder none of them want to, like, give live trade calls with an entry and an exit and a stop. And this is the reason. Like, if you've got a big account on Twitter with 100k or 150k, like, you've probably got way more to lose than to gain by doing that, because at the moment, you're making your course, you're making your subs, whatever, but the minute that you start getting a couple of them wrong, it all unravels very quickly. You start feeling like you're a bit of a dick and you don't really know what you're doing. And these people out there that were, they were short, you were long, bloody blah, like, they might know more than you. All these types of things go on in your head. And it's tough. It really is. So, I'm not trying to use it as an excuse for my trading results on this account, but it is way tougher than what I thought it would be, basically. Woolongabba, nice to see you in the room, mate. It is you against the market. I agree with you. It really is. But focus on what you're doing, Mikos. Yeah, I agree. But when you've got people in your DMs saying they're getting short when you're getting long, and it does affect you, and especially then when you get stopped out, right? It wouldn't be so bad if I would have, like, but you're actually, you can see where your money's going. Like, you are sending them that, like, their gain has been your loss that day. You can actually see it happening as your position's going, more and more offside. You can see their balance getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It is a little bit unsettling, guys. It really is, right? I'm not trying to use it as an excuse, though. That I'm not. It is not an excuse. I would have still taken the trades that I've taken. It is what it is. I'm just saying it's a little bit unsettling. But I will just focus on what I'm doing. Good to see you in here, Woolongabba. And Mikos. How are you doing, guys? Too many people's opinions makes me doubt my trades. You know what, Justine? I do agree with you, to be fair. It can do, and it can unsettle you. If you're like that, you're better off just sort of like blanking it all out, really. Don't take anybody's opinion. I don't take anybody's opinion, really, but obviously when you're doing it live and people are actually saying to you that at the point that you're getting long, they're getting short, then it becomes a bit like, oh my God, what the fuck am I doing? But it is what it is. We'll be good. We'll be fine. It's all character building, Mark. You've got a profitable strategy and are putting yourself out there. No one can ever take that away from you. We all respect that, hence why we are watching you. Thanks, Josh. That's a nice positive message. I like that. I appreciate that, pal. I just hope you stick with me when I do my arse and it goes to 0. That might be more entertaining, though, to be fair. Yeah, Mikos makes some good points. Aaron, yeah, Aaron, you were the one. You were the one that was unsettling me. There was a couple of others. No, you weren't, mate. Don't worry about it. It wasn't like that at all. But yeah, you got that short. Good luck. Good luck to you, mate, as well. You give it all back through the rest of the day. That's similar to what I would have done. I don't believe you though. I don't believe you. I think you're just being kind there. I think you're being too kind. I'll have to see what this Dax is doing. Hopefully we'll get an entry soon. Yeah, it's good that Wollongabba's back. I've missed him, to be fair. Gamian, hello. How you doing? But yeah, I'd potentially set a Discord up, guys. Potentially, for the people that want it anyway. But it wouldn't be shilly. It wouldn't be like, look at me, I'm the best trader. I want you to come and all follow me so that I can sell you something. That type of stuff. It can't be that. It can just be an open and frank discussion with trading entries on there, with your stop and an entry, and that's it basically. Just wouldn't want it to be like a shill fest for other people to come on board and try and like fish people to push them into a paid sort of room or service. That wouldn't be what I wanted to do. Now, if you come on there and you're an absolute ledge and you're smashing the market and every trade call's right and you've been on there for like a couple of months or 3 months, then fair enough. You know, like if people want to actively follow you on Twitter and you do come out of a room, then at the end of the day you'll have proved that you can walk the walk for a few months, 3 months, 5, 6 months. Brilliant. I will follow you. I will pay for your service if that's the case. So you never know. We might find that an unpolished gem in there, right? And that could be a good thing. But I just don't. I mean, what I mean by it is coming on for a few weeks and like trying to shill a service on it or something like that. But to get a Discord on where people actively share the trades, I don't think that would be a bad thing at all, as long as it wasn't shilly. Morning, Angela. I think probably 30 or 40 people on there probably, Matt. I don't think we'd probably get 100 or something like that anyway. I think probably more like 30. Probably a good 30. A good honest 30, I think, would be about there or thereabouts the number. Because there's people on here watching and that, and I don't think that everybody would benefit from it. Like Justine says, that she doesn't think that she'd benefit from it. Some people don't benefit from it at all, and that's fine. That's completely fine. You've got to do you, haven't you, with trading? And I completely get that. But the people that would benefit from it, I think it could be quite good. No, Jesper, I'm gonna hit this if it pushes these highs. I'm gonna hit it. But not yet. The pivot's tight enough for me to hit this at the highs here and get the stop underneath this low. We'll have to see how it sets up. But what I'm looking at is this is just one leg. So that there is one leg, and then obviously I would be looking at taking the continuation of this, which might push us up to this point here. But we'll have to see how it sets up. But my stop's going to go beneath this low, and then obviously I need my entry to be in around here. We'll have to see how it sets up. It looks like I'm going to be buying the highs though, rather than. But this is my strategy. Some people would say, like, if we break it down, people will say, well, why would you just not get long off this candle here, right? But getting long off this candle here means that the pattern hasn't yet confirmed that it's even in play for me. Like, this could just roll over here. Like, we could go up to this level. We could go up to this level here and we could just fake through it and then roll over. Like this candle here, you are basically you're sort of betting on something that's not confirmed yet, that it's even possible that it might be playing out yet. This here to me looks more like it could reverse and come back down, because we're still sort of inside this consolidation. So that's why I always wait, really, and wait for the entry that tells me that the pattern's confirmed, rather than trying to second guess that the pattern could possibly be playing out. I've found that I take less trades by doing that, and obviously, you're sort of waiting for confirmation. Tom says that saying where he says confirmation is for Christians, right? And I get what he's saying, but for me, if I'm trading like a flag pattern, I always think you're better off waiting for the flag to confirm that it's even in play and what you're seeing is even potentially setting up. It's same as say it's a tough one. It's a tough one. Some people will say that you're better off to preempt the pattern and get on board. They would be thinking that this candle here maybe is going to mean that we're going to push through the top of that candle. I think it's whatever your brain sees the best and whatever you're most comfortable with. I'm more comfortable with taking it as we progress through and confirm that yes, this leg here is extending and we're going to extend into a second leg. It's just how my brain sees it and how I sort of think about the markets more. Because for me, this leg here is it could just roll over. We could just come straight back into the top of balance, right? So Luck points out that the currencies aren't showing. They're not showing risk on, right? So your bias is selling pops at the moment with Longabba, right? So is that on the DAX? Or are you selling them pops on the DAX? Because same as say, for me, I'm still not overall, I'm not bullish on the DAX with Longabba. I'm sort of with you. Where we are at the moment, it still doesn't sort of get me excited to see that we're sort of, there's nothing there for me other than obviously the lows have been saved. But you could argue that there might be some type of pivot where the market's sort of coiling up against. And if we were to take that and reclaim this sort of downtrend line, that we could potentially be coiling here for another leg out on the daily. I don't know if you can see that. Let's get rid of this. You could argue that there is a leg from the daily up into that high, and then we're sort of in a tight sort of pullback flag type sort of pattern, and then we're going to go up like that through this sort of downtrend line and test these all-time highs. But it just still doesn't look great. I really don't think it looks very good. And like you say, if you're selling pops, I'm trying to get long. I'm trying to get long here, thinking that we're going to go into that line. Do you get me? Like we're going to go and test that downtrend line. So I would be trying to get long here on the 5-minute time frame with my strategy. I'm thinking this is a leg, this leg here on the 5-minute. Yeah, and then we're going to extend, and the measured move is going to get us, look at that, right into that line. Now that's some proper guru shit there, isn't it? But look at that. You've got your downtrend line there, which I think is going to be a magnet. We're going to go and test it again. And then we've got the first leg here on the 5-minute time frame out of this morning's initial balance. And as you can see, right, the measured move of that ties in exactly to the tick of the top of that line, which I think is going to be a magnet. So that's my trade thesis. That's the context of my overall trade bias for today. Now we're above the opening range, which gives me the first conviction that we might be having a bullish day. We've had a decent looking leg out of it, and now we've got the pullback. And then now I'm just trying to hop on along so that we can potentially go into the magnet and test that. It's also up in there, which is a nice round number again, which is 15,600. So it all sort of looks like the context is there for the market to go and probe there. There's a few things that are there for me. The risk reward would be good, because at the point where I get long, my risk reward would be decent from this point. I would be hoping that it would be around, my entry would be around 14s, and my stop would be around 78s. So the meat in the moves there for me too, which would stack up. So let's say there's my risk box, like so. Going to be looking at something like that, and then obviously my R into that point would stack up pretty decent, like 2.2, 2.3 to that first point where I would definitely look at taking a scale. So the overall context of the market is there for me. I just need a trigger now. Can you see what I'm looking at? Trying to explain what I'm looking at, basically. Hi Justine, right, so you'd find it interesting to go through at the end of the day and see where and other people enter the trades, but just not while you're actually trading. Okay, that's good. I get that, to be fair. Right, so Will and Gab was on DAX. Trading the DAX. Nice one, pal. Meeting the move. ICT will take you to court on that saying. Why is that one of his sayings? I don't know. I don't follow him. He's somebody that I don't actively have like look at or see anything that he's up to at all. He's just I just don't get it. Don't understand why anybody even follows him. Same as say, guys, yesterday I went into this, right, and I said, like, why are people following these accounts if they're not offering you any edge, or they're not giving you anything on Twitter where you'd think, like, you know, like, you're improving as a trader, or, you know, like, one for me, Twitter is, like, comedy value. If somebody's funny, then I'll follow them for that, because I think it's just, you know, it's entertaining, it's a bit of something to have a slight chuckle at. The other one is, like, are they offering any edge at all? Like with trading, do they offer you anything where they're making you think about your own trading maybe? And the other one is like, are they offering any sort of like news, like where, you know, they're giving you some sort of news flow that you quite like how they present it to you on Twitter. And for me, if they're doing that, then I'll follow them. But there's so many of these big accounts that just don't offer anything, and they seem to just put stuff on there to stroke their own ego. And they don't offer anything. It's like, it's all hindsight stuff. They'll just tell you when they were right previously this week. So it's just totally stupid to me why people follow them. Like, give people some edge. Give them a trade. Give them a context of how to set a trade up on it. You know, like what you're looking at, where your stop will be on something. But people go mad for it. They do. I don't understand why, but people love it. A Discord could start to look like a job. I can't believe you show up every day, Mark. Fair play and thanks. Thanks for sitting on here and doing my arse live. No, it's one of them guys, right? I don't even know, really. If I'm being honest with you, I don't even really know why I'm doing it. I think I started off to do it when I first started off doing it, to think like, I'd just like to see other people seeing what the real side of trading is like. I think that was it for me. I was sick of people just showing everybody the wins where they're already into a profit. You know, with a stop move to break even. And the thing with that is, right, if I'm being completely honest with you, that's where I was probably about 5 years ago, where I was just trying to like prove to people on Twitter that I could trade. And all of my trades that I would call out would always be in the money or slightly in the money with a stop to break even. It's like, well, what good's that? And I looked back through my tweets and my like sort of Twitter account, and I just thought to myself, well, you know, like, one, you're not being open with anybody about trading. No, never showing any losses ever, very rarely. Like, well, who is this helping? It's like, it's just madness. It was just benefiting nobody, and sort of also adding to my own sort of, you know, ego that like I was this ledge trader when, you know, behind the scenes I probably wasn't. So that's why I did it really, and I went down there with Tom, and he was like, do you know what, mate? Nobody's as honest with you, because I was sending Tom all of my trading results and being completely honest with it, and he's like, nobody's honest on Twitter, nobody. And he's like, it'd be good, you know, like he said, like, I see you every day and I speak to you and that, and he said, like, I find you like sort of entertaining, like in not like laughing at me because I'm losing or whatever, but just it's like the entertaining. He's like, you should do a YouTube, and he's like, just be honest, go on there and be honest. And I think I quite like the sound of that, because I thought, well, nobody else is doing that, so I just thought I'd give it a go, and I think it's probably worked out okay, you know, I really do. This account's not obviously up where I want it to be at all. And that's slightly ego again, isn't it? Like, I'm thinking stuff like, oh, that ESMA rule, it's cost my account from looking like, you know, I'm this good trader because I would have been more up. And it's slightly ego again, that is, but it is what it is. I couldn't do anything about that. And I feel frustrated for that reason. But that it's just ego again. And I think most people on Twitter, they were all ego. It's all about ego. But I would argue that if that's how you're acting, you probably aren't profitable. The reasons that is if like ego is at the top of your list, and you're not okay to lose in front of other people. I don't think you're going to be able to handle like losing big amounts of money either, because we all have to lose. Like, this is part of trading. If you look through anybody's win rate, like, people lose. It's a 50-50 for most people, sometimes less, slightly less for me. And if you're not okay with that, I just think it's good. It's good to see that side of them. Like a trader, the amount that they lose, it can only be helpful because everybody only ever talks about winning. So that's why I did it, basically. That's the reason I did it. But showing up here every day, it is tough. It really is, especially when you're not doing so great. Because you come on and feel like a bit of a mug, to be fair. Like, I actually do. But it will turn its corner. I feel like more of a mug, obviously, because this week I'm down and then I didn't capitalise on Thursday like I should have. I think that's sort of unsettling me. I'm feeling those sorts of thoughts in the background to my sort of, like my inner sort of consciousness is feeling like that. But it's one of them. And it's probably keeping me honest, keeping my ego at bay by being on here and just being open and honest with everybody. So it's probably helping, really, underneath it all. So exactly, you unfollowed many crypto accounts because of what you just said. It brings no value to the table. It just posts to inflate their overly inflated ego. Exactly right. And the one thing that I find dead odd is that if you've ever had a losing day and you go on Twitter, you just basically feel like an idiot. Now, if you guys have had a losing day and I'm on here telling you that I'm losing, then I am sure in my small little way, it's going to have helped you probably feel better for it. Yeah, because obviously if you're losing and you can see that I'm losing, you know that you're not going on Twitter and you're not surrounded by these people that just win. Yeah, so that to me gets me out of bed and to do this in the morning. That helps me do it because I'm thinking to myself, right, okay, I could be helping somebody out there. Do you know what I'm saying? But people still want to try and shill me for it and stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm only trying to help in my own way if I can. And if you're having a losing day or a losing week, and you can see that I'm having a losing day or a losing week, it can only be helpful. Oh, good luck, Change. Have a good day, mate. Thanks for stopping in as well. Thanks for stopping in, pal. How long since you started this 3K account? 1 month with Langaba, just slightly over 1 month, right? But my challenge account should be up higher than this. It should be today if it wasn't for that ESMA ruling which cost me on Thursday. It should be up higher. How do I know that? Because my live account's higher, which I didn't have the same problem with. So I haven't seen the percentage increase that I should have done on this account. So it would be up. It would be up. I think I'd be up about 10 or 11% up since I've started it, which isn't great, which isn't the greatest month. But August I had a losing month. I lost 1.8% in August. So it's one of them. I don't come on here to say that I make money every month. I really don't. It's not for me to I can't say that I'm the world's best trader that's going to make money every week or every month, but at the end of every year I will be profitable. But same as I've been doing this, guys, for 11%. I've been doing this now for 11 years, and I've seen so many people come and go. I really have. Most of the accounts that I used to follow on Twitter aren't even active anymore. They're all gone. People come on here and they say you're having a bad run, the percentage that you make, in my DMs isn't great, blah de blah, all this type of stuff. But I guarantee that I will be here at the end of the year, and I'll be here at the end of next year. And like I've said, I aren't the hare, I am the tortoise, and it's just how I trade. But I will still be here. And I've seen so many people come on Twitter who are supposed to be like these big traders. They make these big amounts of money, and they're like, for instance, that girl that Tom knows, the one that sent 1,000 to whatever it was, 330, whatever. It doesn't mean, like these people, they come and go. I've seen so many of them on Twitter, like, the big ledgers. Oh, these guys are the proper ledge traders, all that. They're gone. They're not here anymore. They ain't active. Their accounts aren't there. Why? They ain't making any money, or they've done their arse completely. One of them two things. But I will still be here. I've been here for a long time and I ain't going anywhere. So it is what it is. We just have some rough months. We have some rough weeks. And I just try and have to eke a profit out of it. That's it, basically. I'm okay, right? If my account only makes 20%, if my live account only makes 20% a year, which sounds like absolute peanuts to some of these Twitter traders, but if my live account makes 20% a year, I'm okay. I can deal with it at the end of the year. I don't live a rock and roll lifestyle like all these Instagram traders don't. I haven't got a Lambo. I haven't. Yes, I like the odd holiday and stuff like that, but as it happens, I haven't been able to go. So it's one of them. I don't live a rock and roll lifestyle. Same as say, my live account, if I can make 20% a year out of it, I will still be okay at the end of the year. I will be able to have paid my bills and to have lived an alright life. In my opinion, what I would deem an okay lifestyle. Now, yes, I'm not out drinking Dom Perignon and champagne every weekend and driving around in Lambos like Astro, but I'll still be here. I will be okay. My bills will be paid. So that's it, really, and that's what I want to be. Like that's how I want to sort of come across as, if you know what I mean. Morning, Andy. Don't want a Lambo, we'll long have it, don't you, mate? I do. I would have one. I would have one if I could afford one. I don't think it would be a bad thing having the 4x4, the Urus. I think for me, what an amazing car they are. They're amazing. Marco, did you buy the dip on that? No, I didn't, mate. I'm sorry. It wasn't part of my strategy though, Marco. Sorry, dude. I would have loved to. Nick did. Nick got it. Nick got in on that 5-minute hammer. But I didn't get it, mate. Wished I had now looking at this. When you have losses, Angela thanks the market for the lesson and pays it forward. So yeah, so that's what you got to do. It is what it is. You just got to get on to the next one. But all these guys who are, supposedly these big traders who are making all these big percentages and stuff like that, and from what I've seen in the time that I've been on Twitter, it goes two ways of them. They either start a service and start selling something very quickly, or they're gone. Their accounts are gone. So that tells you everything you need to know, really, in my opinion. Buy the effing dip, buy the dips until the taper lot. Yeah, you're probably right, Marco. That's a good way of looking at it, mate. Just buy the dips. You would have made way more money than me. I'm trying to get long here, though. This is my punt. I'm thinking this could pop up and extend. And if we get... What's my level now for my entry? Let's just have a quick look. So my entry at the moment, I would be taking the high if we push through 07s. So 07s on the cash is my entry. Now that would give me a nice tight stop at just underneath this level here at 80s. Yeah, so my stop would be 70, 78 stop. And my current entry would just be a close above 07s if we get it. Let's see. Looks like the flag's tightening up to me. Yeah, Marco, I agree completely, but I have my own strategy, you see, and I can't do that. I'm just in long when my strategy gives me an entry. So hopefully I'll be getting long soon, pal. Hopefully. I aren't lacking in confidence, I'm just not at an entry. You guys are getting long on cable, are you, Kurt? By the way, Kurt called a great trade on Euro the other day. Let's have a look at what he's seen on cable. How long have we got till this candle closes? 1 minute. I'll just have... Right, we're done. It's not yet then. Let's go and have a look at what cable's doing. I'm looking at cable. I did say on the stream a while ago I was bullish on cable. It just looks like it was ready to go. saw this as like a bullish channel. I think I sort of said I was sort of bullish around this area here. Just looked like it was sort of getting ready to have a run. And same again, I thought we were going to test this magnet sort of high, trend channel high. What time frame are you guys on though? 1 hour it'll be, won't it, Kurt? If you trade similar to Tom, is that right? Four pip stop, 7 pip take profit. What's that then, Altro? I don't know what you're doing. Short cable. I would be looking at that on cable there. That's the IB trade block. And you see that little move through the bottom of the IB again, which I tell everybody about all the time. If you just look at that candle, so 7 AM trade block, high, low. You get the move through the bottom, literally this candle, and then straight away we push back into it with this solid green candle. If you took that trade long there, that's something that is a profitable system. Mechanical Trading back tested it and sent me some results of it, and there is edge there, and I call it like the fake out through the bottom of the opening range. And it tends to be when it happens just in one candle in the first hour or an hour and a half of trade, and it's basically like a trap that goes through the opening range on cable. So if you just use this one candle as your risk and you put your stop just beneath the low, 1.5 ticks beneath that low, and you obviously taking profit at the other side of the IB, or I don't know, you could maybe sort of scale out as you went into higher and higher profit. It's a profitable system. I think he sent me the results of it, and it looked really good, to be fair. DAX is getting ready to go. It looks like it anyway. Ultra, why have you done your arse, dude? What's happened? That trade didn't work out. I don't even know what you were doing, to be fair. I couldn't quite work out. I didn't know your entry or your stop, you see, so don't worry about it, mate. It's just one of them, isn't it? We all get trades wrong. A lot of people try and think that, they don't, or make out they don't, but we do. It's as simple as that. You can have 10 losing trades on the row and still be profitable at the end of the month or the year. These people that pretend that, this type of thing doesn't happen to them, they're just in dreamland. And when it does happen to them eventually, they will realise that that's what happens. The risk probability of most entries will give you, even with somebody with a 70% win rate, I think you're highly likely to get 5 or 6 losing trades on the run at some point over 1,000 trades. Highly likely. So it's just what happens. It's trading. It really is. It's just how it is. Don't be afraid of losing, because it is just trading. Yeah, it's all good. Don't worry about it, honestly. Do not worry about it. On to the next one. Aiden's long cable. It's 13742. Right, you're looking at getting long cable. I know what you're doing. You're looking at an SFP through that low, aren't you, this one? Still nothing yet for me on the DAX, guys. It's still that high that needs taken out. Slightly lower now for me, though. 04s, 05s as an entry. If we get a closer 05s as an entry for me. It looks like it's setting up for a run. Woolloongabba has consecutive losing trade probability matrix. It's fantastic for setting ideal parameters for expectancy inputs. Right, cool. I think that's something that I've got too, Woolloongabba. I've got one of them myself. Am I correct in saying that if you've got a 60 or a 70% win rate, you're highly likely to get seven losers on one after the other at some point over 1,000 trades? No, I don't. I look at them, but I don't trade them actively. No, Marco. I think some people in here do, though. Not for me, though. Probably might not get an entry though. Basically, this is sometimes like my strategy is pretty good for this. It sort of keeps me out just at the point when the market's not gonna go. So we could fail here, couldn't we, and move back into the IB. Let's see what happens though. Systems based on around 65% win rates are ideal. Yep, I agree with you. I like the sound of that. 65% win rate sounds good to me, mate. I'll have a bit of that. No, so look, I don't know. Never consider the trend on the longer time frame. Never. So basically, sometimes the biggest moves through IB and the biggest trades are counter trend when the market breaks the top of the IB and goes in that direction. So you would be costing yourself money. I've sort of backtested it and looked into it, and it wouldn't be. It sort of makes my system less profitable by doing so. You get less trades, but obviously it does affect my overall profits by doing that as well. Some of the biggest... I think we're back up though. Let me just try and see if I can get this working again. Right, can everybody hear me? I don't know what the hell happened then, guys. I think I'm back on now, hopefully. It says live. Yeah, we're back anyway. Sorry about that. I think the DAX might be giving me an entry here soon, by the way, guys. All good. Right, some questions coming in. Awesome, brilliant. So, do you consider ATR as in this morning below IB is very close to ATR? Would you still short below? Yeah, so for me though, Nick, the context of the bigger IBs at the moment, you're getting some bigger IBs, aren't you? And also on those days when the actual the IB gets bigger, relatively over the last 5 days, we are seeing bigger IBs at the moment because of the volatility that we've seen as we hit them lows. So for me, you can the ATR which is expected is slightly skewed. It's wrong. So I would always still take the trade and not look at the ATR in that aspect, because the volatility of the market has increased slightly, and the relative ATR and the relative IBs are still a little bit behind where they should be, if that makes sense. So yeah, I would always take it. The days that I use ATR on are when you have a big IB and there's no context to it. You just get a massive IB. And so let's say you've had opening range IB of 35, 42, 55, 42, 61, 35 for a period of like 6 or 7 days, and then there's no context to it. You're not into like massive structural lows, you're just in a tight consolidation, and then you get an IB of 140. Now on them days, they're the days which I actually think, right, okay, well, the market's probably not going to expand. It's not going to do, any more. There's no more room for me to probably make money on that day. So it's the relative price, relative size of the IBs that I pay attention to. And also the context. Is there a context behind them? Is there a bias behind the IB? Like, is there something going on in the world which says that the volatility is picked up, which is why the IB is bigger? And then we can expect higher ATR than what we've previously seen. So that sort of goes out the window, if that makes sense to you, Nick. So let me just see what the hell's happened here. Why is it doing this now? It's logged me out of my freaking account as well. Just wait there 1 minute, guys. I don't know what's going on with this. I don't know what's going on. It's logged me out of my account and I don't know why. I can't understand why it's logged me out. I think I might have to just close this. I might have to close down this. Let me just close this down and start again with a new tab. I don't know what the hell is going on with my account. I don't know if IG are having some problems or something, guys, because my account's not. It's not going. It's not like, for some reason it's not. It's not working. Like the data's not working to it. Let me just try and get it up on Google. I'll see if I can do it on Google Chrome. I don't know. Safari's having a problem. I'm not sure what's going on. Right, so we've got it. Safari. I don't know what the hell's going on with it. Let me just move this screen over. Right, we're good. We're back. Sorry about that. I don't know what the hell's going on. Maybe, Matt, that could be it, yeah. I need to do an update though, you know. I've got to do an update on it, so maybe that's what the case will be. They've slowed it down and messed it up so that bloody I go and buy the new Mac. Well, to be fair, there's no chance I'll do that because they cost a fortune, and this one was bloody dear, to be honest with you. And I only got it last January, so. But yeah, it's a good point you made. Yeah, Nick. So, right, okay. So you went long. I suppose though, it's what it does for you, didn't it? I didn't see that. I didn't on my 5 minute chart. I didn't see it go through. Like we didn't for me. I used the first 5 minute candle, so I think you're slightly different than me. But for me, that would have been the bottom of it anyway. So I wouldn't have got a short there for me because I would have needed it to go out again. Do you understand? So that still wouldn't have been a short for me. But I think you don't use that. You use the you don't use the first 5 minute candle, do you? No, I always use the first 5 minute candle because of this reason. I always find that the first 5 minute candle can often be a trap for that reason, and you can often end up thinking, you know, in the first 5 minutes of the day, first minute, second minute, third minute, fourth minute, they're the times when the market pushes through the I beta, then traps people, which is what's happened here on the smaller time frame on this candle. So that's why I always use the first 5 minute candle. You've got 5 screens, Wollongo, alright, awesome. Ten screens, Jesper's got 10. Wow, that is awesome. So, you know, with that then, Jesper, if you've got 10 screens, you trade in 10 different markets, or do you just have different some for news feeds? Or you're actively trading like that amount of markets, which is why you need them screens? Just interested. I imagine you're getting a decent suntan off them though. That's amazing, to be fair. 10 screens is impressive. With the price of electric at the moment, mate, I wouldn't want to be paying your electric bill. If you can use 10 and you can make money from them, amazing. Very good. I bet you've got one dedicated to Twitter though, one to YouTube, one to Pornhub. No, am I wrong? Oh, he's joking, he has to. Oh, come on, Jesper. You got me then for a minute. Yeah, you probably are better off mining Bitcoin instead of powering 10 screens up. This DAX is just dying, isn't it? It's not doing it. It needs to make a move. I think we're going to get one though. It actually looks like a nice little pennant now in the stock. Here we go. Are we getting something? Look at that. Pennant. Is it a pennant? Would you call that a pennant? You probably could. Look at that. Lovely. Right out of the Retail Rick Stock Traders for Dummies chart patterns, that. Am I going to take it though? Yes, I definitely am. So there you go. Anybody getting long in there with me this morning? Will anybody be taking that pennant push out? Or are you going to leave me to do it on my own and do my arse on my own? Is anybody thinking it's a long? Or is somebody going to fade, trend the market, come on like, I'm getting short, I am. And then end up making money while we all lose money. Ash, right. Briefing about my current positions. I don't have any on at all at the moment, mate. Nothing for me. Don't trade the DAX chop. I don't know, man. I'm getting long. We're all short. Fade me. Cool. No worries. I like it. I like it. Where's your stop, so guys? You can't just say you're fading me. Give me a stop. Give me a stop. You know, it's not fair for you to just say I'm fading me. Where's your stop going to be if you are fading me? I'm interested. Nothing on for me yet, Ash. Yeah, sorry, mate. I'll hopefully get a position on soon, though. No Lambo money yet. Mikos doesn't want anybody to know his Twitter handle, Altro, I don't think. I think I've answered that correctly. I think, I don't, you know, these guys who are trading proper stuff in the prop firms, I don't know, I just don't think they want them either of, but how can I put it, their number one priority probably isn't Twitter followers, I don't think, it's just more like smashing the markets from what I've seen. But if he wants me to, I will tell everybody. I don't think he actively tweets on there, to be fair. I think also the guy, I think his Twitter account's like a bit more personal and family, maybe. He should set one up though, shouldn't he? He should set one up with a different name on it. I don't know, like with some crazy sort of I'm the real deal, you know, Twitter handle or something like that. I don't know, we could think of one, but he should definitely get one so that it's not a little bit more personal and he could maybe, you know, because I'm sure everybody would love to see what he tweets out about the markets, but I don't know if he'd be interested in that. Same as say, why would you when you're just smashing the market for thousands of bloody dollars every day? And yes, he points out that by the way, that all the winnings when you're in prop and stuff, you don't get all your winnings. So like when I'm pointing out on here that Mikos is into a position and it's a big position, I don't think you do profit splits in prop, and same as say the actual overall take of what a trader gets in prop is nowhere near the types of positions that you would think or realise. So like when you guys are making £100 or $1,000 or something like that, and it's all yours as a retail trader, in prop it's not like that. So let's say, you know, like by the time you've hit let's say $1,000, the prop firm have it, a big split of it, you get all of your trading fees, desk fees taken out of it, you have to pay all of your taxes, you have to, you know, by the time everything's taken out of that sort of position, you're left with bare bones really from the amount of money that you've made. So that's something else to think about for people that go into prop. You know, like your overall profits, there's, you know, a massive chunk of them, you could argue like 65% of them overall aren't yours. They have to go into paying for everything else. So something to think about. Still no trade for me. He doesn't tweet. He doesn't tweet. He just puts it like that. He doesn't tweet, guys. Alright? So that's it. End of story. There's no Twitter account because he doesn't tweet. I love it. God, a ledge. Right, so potentially gonna be getting an entry here now. But we've got 4 minutes until my entry could possibly even have shown up, so we'll have to see what happens. The stop's going to be really tight though. My stop's going to be underneath this low. Here. So my stop's going to be at 80, 85 and a half. Dave, your win rate's incredible. Your win rate's insane. 75%. That's insane. 75% win rate's insane. Like, is that? Are you trading every day with that win rate, or is it you just like standing aside most of the time? Because I always find like if you've got a really high win rate, I think like you can't. I don't know if there's many people that are actively trading every day in and out. Like you've got a high win rate. I would find it incredible. Like if that's the case, I'd find that incredible. I imagine, are you like more like just waiting for the perfect setup, the perfect scenario to sort of show itself, and then you're hitting it? I'm just wondering. Obviously, I'm just jealous as well, like, because obviously I would love a win rate that high. There you go. So at the moment, right, my strategy has saved me from getting into that pennant breakout. At the moment, there's 2 minutes left to candle close though. So let's see what happens. Yeah, them figures are insane. They're really good, really good. $55.60 Mikos's win rate. Nope, no trade here for me, guys. At this moment in time. Yeah, 75% win rate and 2.1. Yeah, it is world domination. That I agree. I would be Lamboed up with that type of stats. Totally Lamboed. Angela Ablett, dying to hear your win rate. Liam. Mikos is scouting Mark. That's why he's in here. Dave's your man. Dave is your man with that win rate. Look at that though, guys. You see, you were all trying to fade me, but you know what? I didn't take the trade. I didn't take it. That's why my strategy is good. It just keeps me out of the breaks, the fake breaks that don't look like they're happening. Now, my new high is this high, right? So my high is this point here now. The market has to go through 07s now for me. Before it was 04s. Now it's 07s. So now the market has to prove to me that it can get back above that trap candle there. Okay? Let me just mark it in. So the pennant sort of looks totally horrendous now anyway, but for me, the market has to prove to me that it can get back above that trap candle there. So I would be looking at a move through 07s, and a close through 07s would get me long. You know what they say about these trend lines when they stop working? Just draw another one in. Yeah? Everybody seems to do that. So, there you go. And that's why I don't like using trend lines to get me in a trade. Because obviously they just keep on moving. But yeah, I'll be a move through 07s and I'll be looking at a long, right? Simple as that. Yeah, Wollongong are right. I don't think IGs are very good though. I don't think they are right. For me, with my strategy with IG, when they do the trade tracker stats, they don't take into account your scales. So when I'm scaling out of my trades, when I'm winning, it doesn't take into account that like their scales. It just takes into account that they're winning positions on their own, and they want a scale of an overall position that's building. So it like makes my win rate higher than what it actually is. Do you know what I'm saying? So if your IG stats are good, if you are holding a trade and you just get out of it at take profit, or you get out of it when you stopped, they're great for that. But when you start scaling out of a trade, it skews everything massively. Like that's I see them because I look at them all the time. I've got them on my accounts, but it doesn't. And then what it does is it gives you a win rate that's way higher. And there's no way of changing that so that it's all part of the same trade, if you know what I mean. Because like my win rate on my strategy is way up when I'm taking scales, because it takes in each individual scale as being as its own trade. Does that make sense to you? And I'm back. This is the stupidest stream I've ever done in my life. I can't believe it. I'm so sorry. It's just ridiculous. I don't understand what's going on. I just don't get it. I'm so sorry about it. But at this point, I think I'm going to have to get off because it's just driving me crazy. The DAX is trading down at 92s now. So there's nothing for me setting up at all. I'm glad that all the chat's still working for you though, guys. So sorry that the stream keeps on messing up. Let's just see what the hell's going on with this. Right, so yeah, same again. So for me, it would be that move through 07s, guys. That would get me long. A close through 07s. All good. I'm so sorry. I don't know why it keeps on dropping. Just didn't want it to drop on the chat because it looked like it's interesting. YouTube profits to buy a Wi-Fi extender. Trend the market. There's no YouTube profits for me, bro. But I have got one. I did get myself a new mesh last week. I've even got the app on my phone. What's it called now? It's called the Deco, TP-Link Deco, and it's a mesh system. It cost me like nearly 100 quid, and I don't know. I don't even know what's going on with it. But yeah, it hasn't worked, obviously. I had a new mesh system probably about 2 weeks ago. I think it might be my router, my BT router. I'm with BT, so I've ordered a new router as well. I've got one, so I need to get it set up. Maybe it's my router. Yeah, so my stop moves up. Yes, Matt. Because for me, the stop, I always try and put my stop beneath the local swing low. The local swing low to me is the last area of support where we bounce from. So it would be that. It moves from here to here, right? So it would have been 78s, and then now I can move it up to 84s, which gets me tighter risk on, which means I can get more leverage on the trade to make more money on it as we're pushing through these highs. I can obviously get more size on, which then means the R rate is potentially bigger if I'm right. But you can see that I could potentially know if I'm right or wrong very quickly on that trade. Because if we break out of here, I would instantly want us to get onside and go. The minute that we come back and try and sweep this low here, we're way more than likely from a market structure perspective to roll down and test the top of the IB, which would mean that I'm drastically out on my trade sort of bias. You know, it's not going to happen for me. So I would be out the market, and that would be it. I would know that I was right or wrong very quickly. So yeah, for me, I would be long out of here, and my stop would be beneath here. Which I think that's right, the context of that trade. If we push out through the top there, you know, for me, I would want it to go pretty quickly. I wouldn't expect it to come back down here, sweep this low. I'd be wrong then, I'm sure of it. So that's why my stop would go there, basically, pal. You can't beat a wire. You're right, Marco. You definitely can't beat a wire. You definitely can't. I agree with you completely. The problem that I've got is my house where we live. It's like an old cottage with dead thick walls, and we've done a bit of work to it and stuff. And the Wi-Fi, the BT cable comes in off the. You live down like a little tight lane, and it's not great at all with BT. They don't even like coming down here. They're a nightmare because there's all big trees up and stuff like that. On the lane. Now they don't like it. They come and take a look at it and they just disappear. Now I've been after getting them to put me a new cable in, because what it is it's not the cable into the house that's the problem. I think it's the cable from the pole to the house which there's a slight problem with, and they just don't want to do it. They're a nightmare. So I've just got to basically live with it. But I'm getting like 22 or 23 megs at all points, and sometimes higher than that. Sometimes it goes up to like 32s, 35, so it's not too bad. It's only really ever caused me a problem since I've been streaming that I've seen that there was an issue. Like, we use all of our TVs and everything through Wi-Fi, and it's normally good. Never normally have a problem with it. Like, YouTube's on all the time in our house. My little boy never has a problem with all of his iPad and stuff like that when he's on it. But it's just since I've been streaming live, it's tended to show up as a bit of an issue, especially when I've got my charts on at the same time. I don't know what happens. It's like something doesn't like the amount of data that's been sort of asked for. The infrastructure in the UK is shite. I agree with you. It's totally shit. Totally shit. It's like third world country really now, the UK broadband is. It's shit. Unless you live in a city, where if you like Liverpool, Manchester, London, Birmingham, it is totally shit. You move 10, 15 miles out of any of them major cities and into a suburb, and unless you're on a main road or a certain like a new build estate or something like that, which they're normally good, if you're on any sort of back street away from the suburb where you're like maybe a mile or two out of town, it's totally crap. Most people who I know that sort of live around me, their internet's crap, and no matter who you go with, it's all still shit. Yeah, so you're the same as me. If you live, same as say, anywhere in the UK is totally shit. But then I've been to the city, like, you know, Manchester, London, Liverpool, and it's brilliant. You know, you're getting like 150 megs in a hotel reception. It's mint. It's like instant. They're good. So it's just how it goes. It really is crap. Yeah, so you're the same as me, AP. No matter what you pay for, it doesn't matter. They can't get that data to you. So I've asked them. I've said to BT, like, can I upgrade to the top fiber package? And it's like, well, it's not going to make any difference because it's just not there for you to use. You can only use what you're given. So there's no picking of speeds for me. It is what it is. Like, that's it. The only thing you could do was maybe to get a direct line into your house, but it costs thousands and thousands of pounds. Like, I'm not going to pay for that. The reason we probably might move as well. If we move, then it's a complete waste of money. Ah, right. So you've had the same problem when it was... See, Sparky Andy. I assume he's got something to do with electrics or something like that. He knows what the problem is. So he's saying when it's windy, the cable on the pole is breaking down in the trees. That's probably what happened, mate. Yeah. I think our cable comes in over a what's the tree called now? A cherry tree, a pink cherry tree. And when it's windy, I think it might do that possibly. Thanks for that info, bud. It probably is right, to be fair. Right, so you've seen Barcelona was shocking. The Wi-Fi was shocking everywhere in Barcelona. Yeah, right. See, for a big city, that's not good, is it? You'd expect a big city like Barcelona to be absolutely pinpoint everywhere. Plus, we were on the end of the line from the village. That's such a British statement, that is, to make. It is like that in England. If you're in a village and you're in a line, like, you get your milk lashed, you get everything lashed, you get awful services for everything. I bet you get snowed in and everything. Still that number for me, magic numbers 07s. We need a move from through there to get me into the trade. My stop now, though, is going to move up underneath this point here to 90s, so it's going to be 89 stop. So now again, I've got a problem, right? Because the ESMA rulings are going to kick me in here, I think, because my stop is going to be 89, and if I enter. No, it's just going to be just okay, I think. No, I'm going to be just okay on this one. Looking like I could potentially get about £3.50 a point on though. Yeah, it's going to be £3.50 a point, so it should be good. Should be okay. Marco lives in the sticks in France and they've just put fibre down my road. Awesome, mate. What made you move to France, mate? Just wondering. When did you go? Were you located in the UK before you moved to France? I'm interested. What's made you jump ship? Is it job related or just lifestyle related? Have you just fancied moving out of the UK? I'm assuming that you've come from the UK though. Just wondering what your story is and why you're there. What part of France as well? Is it... Need to go buy a baguette. I'll be back later to buy the Nasdaq. Okay, mate, no worries. You got chucked out of your house in the UK. Who chucked you out? The landlord or the wife? Which one? I agree with you, Liam. Who wouldn't move to France? I do fancy the south. The problem with France is the French. And I know that might piss some people off, but every time I've been to France, they just don't really like us English, I don't think. I think that's what it is. We're like the noisy neighbours, aren't we, that just to piss them off all the time. But yeah, I love France, but the French people, they're just, I don't know, I've never found them to be like that sort of welcoming when I've been over there. Now, Spanish, brilliant, love Spain. And I find the Spanish people to be a lot more sort of friendly and welcoming to us. And I'm not saying that I want a red carpet laid down, by the way, but it's just, I find them to be very aggressive on the road, the French and stuff. I've drove through there a lot, and they don't mess around, and they don't like English plates, that's for certain. They are difficult, yeah. That's in my experience. Now, obviously, all French aren't difficult, but on the roads in France, they don't mess around. If you've got an English plate and you're sort of, doing anything that you shouldn't be, they're so aggressive. Everyone hates the English. They do, I agree with you. The Spanish don't mind us though, because they can see that the money that we're giving them. I've always found that with the Spanish, as long as you like greasing their palm with some euros, they're all good. Whereas the French just don't like you anyway. You can give them as many euros as you want, and they'll still think you're an English twat. So it's a type of image that us English portray, I think. Everybody hates us. They do. We're like the noisy neighbours, aren't we, of Europe? I agree. The roads are good. I agree. Yeah, they are if you're going on the ones where you pay the tolls on. Very good. Way better than our motorways. But then when you compare it to the toll road in, I'm gonna get an entry. I best shut up. Oh, come on. Oh my god. What are the chances of that? It didn't close through. Oh, come on. This is freaking ridiculous, man. You see that? It didn't close through, guys. It didn't get me entry on. One of them. We can't be hitting it if it's not set up right. Needed to move through 07s. Did you see how we just tweaked through? And then pulled back and trapped? So now, we still need to move through 07s, yeah? Hopefully this is a trap here though when we push back lower again. That's what I'm thinking. If this is a trap here, we push back lower and rotate down, and then I can get long later on in the day as we move into the American session. You sold it short. Nice one, Jasper. Message retracted. Sorry, mate. Didn't mean to call that out if it's been retracted. Yes, Liam, I agree, but English, so Liam's pointing out that the English won't learn languages. Everyone in Europe is at least bilingual. I agree with you, Liam, but the problem is that English is the Lord's language. So everybody should speak English, but we don't have to speak their languages. I'm just joking, by the way. I'm just joking, so don't start getting stressed out. Listen, right? My wife's Italian. She's an Italian woman. Her mum and dad and her family are from Italy and Napoli. So I'm all up for that. I'm all up for learning languages. Okay, before everybody starts to think I'm a bigot. Why should we learn these foreign languages when everybody speaks English? Seems a waste of time. But yeah, my wife's Italian. She can't speak Italian though. Dad can. Dad's very good at it. Her grandparents were proper Italian. They come from Naples. So you can imagine the Euro final, can't you, in our house when the frickin' Italians win and beat us. And I'm on a family WhatsApp group. I nearly left that night, to be honest with you. Nearly divorced her. It was that serious. But yeah, one of them. So I'm all up for us, learning different languages. If I want my little boy to learn, I want my little boy to learn Italian. I would love him to. So, and appreciate his Italian heritage. Hit us with some Italian, then, mate. I'm not Italian. I'm Stoke-on-Trent, born and bred, me. That's just it. I couldn't tell you any. Pasta and pizza, and that's about it. I can't speak it. No. And she what it is her dad and her mum moved over here when she was very young, so she's just known. She knows certain words. Don't get me wrong, but she's not fully sort of she could have a conversation with you and say certain words, but she wouldn't be. I don't think she could go over to Naples and talk to all of her family like in full blown Italian mode. But I can't speak a word of it. Hey, oh, Liam's got... Liam, have you got Google on there with that? Have you got Google Translate on for that? Or is this proper stuff you can speak it and spell it? Come on, pal. Come on, pal. Liam's showing off now. Liam's showing off. He's got Google Translate on his Google, I think. Still no entry for me here. So frustrating, to be fair. I've got 1 minute. Liam says speaking other languages is easy. I love it. I like it. Well done though to you, Liam, for making it right. This is ridiculous. Look at this. Right on it again. No, still no entry. We've closed on 07s, but it's not been it's not an entry for me. There's nothing there. We need to close through. Speaks lots of languages. That's awesome. Ultra FX is from Newcastle, so he's a Geordie. You're like me then, Ultra, from Stoke-on-Trent. No trade. I don't have a trade on, Sam. Sorry, pal. There's nothing on for me. Yeah, it is. It is a trading range, Jasper. I agree now. The flag has gone for me. But it doesn't mean that we can't still flirt up there and get a leg up out of this range. I'm still bullish because we're above the opening range. That's the bigger context for me. So I completely understand what you're saying. It doesn't look like that flag looks that great anymore, does it? But the bigger picture for me would be is obviously we are above the opening range, and I do have this target in mind up here, this magnet at just below 600. Now, I just think the probability of us having a poke up there is high, and it might not be today, and it might happen overnight in a gap, something like that. But if I do get the setup, I have got to hit it. There's just nothing there for me still. Yeah, Aaron's on Twitter, Ultra. If you go into my Twitter yesterday, I think I might have tweeted one of his charts out. I think. Richest club in the world. Yeah, they are. Marco's heading out for his baguette. See you later, mate. Have a good one. I'm gonna get off here in a minute, guys. I will be getting long though, but I am gonna get off. My stomach's rumbling and I'm getting hungry, so I'll take them back downstairs. Hopefully, I'll get the setup, but if not, you'll see it here tomorrow because I will have had a losing trade again. It is what it is. At this point in time, I'm more concerned about getting the trade on without it costing me with the ESMA ruling and stepping in. But I think I can get enough size on, hopefully, if it does go. Because that would be a right pain up the arse again. Yeah, cheers. See you later, Andy. Thanks for stopping in. Hope you have a great day. Mate, no problem. And I hope your internet holds up for you. Miko, see you later, mate. I'm going to jump out here. Nothing looks like it's setting up for me. So I'm going to jump out. Have a good day. He's saying he's covered his Aussie dollar short. He's going to look to sell another rally later, depending on how equities do. Good feed. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Liam. No worries. Catch you later. No worries. Thanks for stopping in, guys. Ultra FX, right? I'll tweet it out for you. Good luck to everyone. Have a good day. I'll tweet Aaron's Twitter out for you, so you can see. So if you're following me, I'll tweet it out so you can get him, so you can catch up with him. See you later. Take care. Thanks for stopping in. See you later, Kurt. Bye, everybody. Thank you. Thanks, Demo.